Welcome to Pest Setters here on Shared Moments with Justice. It's been quite a ride already. We've just done a few episodes for this particular segment of Pest Setters. And I feel like I'm learning so much. I hope so are you. And who else to do this with other than my very able co-host? She's no longer a guest now.
I've gone to the space.
You've gone to you've come inside. Uko ndani sasa.
Inside.
Yeah, you know, for the past few weeks we've been having conversations around skincare.
Correct.
And I've actually literally discovered a lot of things. You know, as men, there are conversations we hardly have. There are a lot of misconceptions that exist in between from both ends that prevent us from just enjoying life and doing things with freedom.
Correct.
And so the beauty industry, skincare as well, has come with a lot of misconceptions.
Correct.
And that's what we are here today to talk about.
Correct.
You know, to unpack those misconceptions so that people can be more free.
Correct.
And do things that they're supposed to do without looking over their shoulder. I was seeing there's a clip that was doing rounds on social media of some comedian who was, you know, just a simple task of applying, what do you call it? Oil. You know, I don't want to mention brands. Hawajalipa. Petroleum jelly. You know? So, you know, like the way he was bringing out, it's like ni kama naiba. You know, you first looking around if you are
somebody's watching.
As a man,
it's
it
stripping
was
off
weird.
his masculinity.
Hey, yeah, like how can a man use that kind of thing? You know?
Correct.
But you see, at the end of the day, your skin needs care. And so one of the greatest misconceptions I've heard or witnessed people struggle with is that by virtue of us being black and African, that we are prone to certain things. For instance, we cannot be affected by
sun,
yes. So historia using sunscreen and that kind of thing does not apply for a black man or black woman.
Person,
Is it a misconception or there's some truth around that? Have I even introduced you?
Don't you know me by now? I like when he does it. My name is Rosette Mumanyi. I'm the owner of Sorano Organics, a Kenyan-owned brand for manufacturing and formulating organic beauty products, mainly focusing on problematic skin, aging issues, and acne.
I wouldn't have done that. So, Okay, back to what we were talking about.
Misconceptions.
Yes.
So, the issue about black skin does not need sunscreen. So I think maybe how to unpack that then is to understand what is the use of sunscreen in the first place. Is it skin specific, color specific? Is that what it's meant for? Why sunscreen? So a lot of the issues we have, believe it or not, discoloration of the skin, pigmentation issues, sometimes even breakout issues are triggered by the sun. The sun is good. We are not saying it's bad on our skin. It's very important. But just like previous conversations we've had, if you've been with us on this journey, on this series, you must have heard us saying that we need the sun as vitamin D. We also need the sun to trigger melanin production.
Yes.
But then also, everything in excess is detrimental, including if you're constantly exposed to the sun. What that does to your skin, then it triggers your skin to overproduce that melanin. So then this melanin presents itself in a darker version of your normal skin tone, because ideally that's how it presents itself. So then that leads to pigmentation issues, that leads to uneven skin tone, that leads to sometimes dark patches on our skin. Secondly, as we age, our bodies produce less and less collagen. So sometimes you find that some of your body parts are also discoloring. because some of these triggers also affect melanin production. It's a natural process as we age. So then why was sunscreen created? Sunscreen was created especially for the seasons, summer, if we're talking about the Western. For us, we're in the tropics, we are constantly exposed to the sun. So sunscreen is meant to protect us from that excess sun on our skin, so that then we are able to regulate this process of melanin production. So then if you think about it from that perspective, it has got nothing to do with skin color, whether you're dark, yellow, normal skin, chocolate.
Or woman or man.
Or woman or man.
Yeah, because
woman or man.
That card is used again.
Across.
How does a man apply sunscreen?
That's also another misconception. Why do I need sunscreen as a man? And remember, let's not forget, especially now that the ozone layer has been tampered with, we are having UV rays directly on our skin. So if we do not have, because another use of sunscreen is also to protect us from that damage, UV rays damage. So we are having skin cancers and all these problematic issues on our skin because we are not protecting ourselves from the UV rays and from the sun damage.
The only time I see people proactively looking for sunscreen or shopping around for sunscreen is when we're going traveling for areas
that are extremely hot.
But otherwise, we don't consider the normal exposure we have as extreme.
Which is unfortunate. I mean, in Africa, we are all working outside most of the time. You have to go to the supermarket, you have to run your errands, you have to do this and that. So we are constantly exposed to the sun. Incidentally, by the way, another misconception is that I only need sunscreen when I'm walking out of the door. Even these lights.
What do you mean?
Yes. Whether you're indoors or outdoors, so long as it's during the day, you're exposed to... These are not natural lights, so they affect our skin composition. They have UV rays. So whether you're indoors or outdoors, you need sunscreen.
But when am I going to just be me and feel comfortable? Because some of those things are really uncomfortable, especially for me as a man. Applying things on my face is the most uncomfortable thing, really, like, to be honest. So, but I hear you. I
keep saying this. That's a good conversation to have. But remember, if you have to treat, then you're forced to be on a regime. So which regime would you rather be on?
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you. All right.
Yeah.
There's another misconception. When it comes to the types of skin, there are people who have oily skin, there are people who have dry skin. And those who have especially oily skin, because you almost feel like your face is moist every other time, that we don't need to moisturize. Maybe it's not a misconception. You tell me. Because I'm already feeling like...
That's probably one of the biggest misconceptions, and one of the... Amongst the conversations I have, that probably would make 50% of the conversations I have with women, with men who have oily skin. Because remember, our range focuses on acne as one of the problems we solve out of the three. Acne mainly comes as a result of oily skin, which overproduces sebum. And incidentally, some of this, and this is why I keep saying prevention rather than treatment, because if we understand then the genesis of that, then we are able to understand why it's important to prevent that whole process. So the reason why the body overproduces sebum, which leads to oily skin, first of all, it's because it feels like it lacks the good moisture to moisturize the skin. So because the body is meant to be self-regulating. I mean, God gave us nature to be able to take care of ourselves. Our bodies should be able to, if we feed well, we take care of our bodies, we exercise right, and we keep a good lifestyle, then our bodies are supposed to self-heal. Correct? So then the body produces moisture to moisturize the skin. But it overproduces because it lacks the good moisture. So then what we need to do is feed it with good moisture, oils which have natural moisturizing, which are anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, anti-clogging, antibacterial, so that then it does not feel the need to overproduce the sebum. So with that understanding, then you can understand why oily skin, if you do not oil it, the body will consistently continue to overproduce, trying to supplement for the lack of the good moisture. So once you start feeding it with good moisturizers, good oils, that then automatically regulates the production of sebum. Then it comes to a normal balance. So then it's a serious misconception when people with oily skin say, I don't need to oil because as soon as I come out of the shower, my face is already shiny. Meanwhile, if you use a good moisturizer or a good oil, especially if it contains jojoba oil, which then mimics our sebum production, you apply immediately after moisturizing, you will realize that your face shines less.
Okay.
Because now the jojoba then mimics sebum production, goes and balances out the overproduction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are there perhaps things that we do that affect the type of, or is it just something that, some are born with oily skin, some are born with, dry skin, or does it have anything to do with our lifestyle or some, things that we do to ourselves that perhaps move you from this type of skin, from normal to this, or from, because ideally we should have a normal skin.
Yeah.
So how do we find ourselves in these other two categories?
Yeah. Actually, there are several other categories,
Oh.
and you're right. So yes, we have oily skin, we have dry skin, we have normal skin, we have combination skin.
Yes,
Somebody
yes.
who has dry skin and some parts of their face are oily, so that's combination skin. So we have all these types of skin types, and as you rightfully say, it's because of different triggers. Some could be genetics. Some people just, the internal hormones are well balanced, naturally. Some could be triggers, like adolescent. Adolescent is a trigger because the hormones are changing at that point. We are going through a transition from, into young adulthood. There's a lot happening in the body system. Sometimes it's also the environmental. Our sensitivity to certain things in the environment. Sometimes it's genetics. Sometimes it's medication, the type of medication you're using. Sometimes it's pregnancy. So yes, you can actually move from one type of skin type to another, but generally you find that people with oily skin tend to have it consistently throughout their life period because of certain triggers and certain sensitivity to certain things in the environment. So there's triggers, but there's also genetics.
Okay.
Yeah, there's triggers and then there's genetics. So it's very, very important, even when you're using skincare products, to understand, first of all, what is your skin type.
Okay.
Yeah, it is very important.
I don't know if men are struggling with even identifying with any of the many types you've said. Sometimes what is a very normal conversation for a woman to have is very foreign
to somebody else.
To some of us.
Yeah,
but we're learning.
Right.
Yeah. So this session is helping us. Personally, I am. Let's talk about those who perhaps consider themselves to be having normal skin because maybe they are thinking they are safe.
Exactly.
But let's talk about them a little bit. There's a misconception around that as well when it comes to scrubbing and masking. So by the virtue of me having a normal skin, there are those who believe that it's not necessary to scrub or to mask because my skin is normal.
It's normal. Whew. Actually, there's even a wider conversation around that because people with normal skin, you don't have breakouts. You're not shiny, you're not oily. I mean, you're the people we all envy. Your life is easy. So what are you solving? Why maintain a good skincare routine, for example? So the reason why it's pertinent to maintain a good skincare routine is because you're doing it not just for now, but also for future. Because remember, as we age, again, let me go back to what I said earlier, our body reduces production of collagen.
Yes.
So the reason why we insist on a good skincare routine from a younger age, you adopt a lifestyle where you already have products that naturally enable your body to produce collagen or trigger your body to produce collagen. So then long-termly, by the time you're in the age of, let's say, late 40s, 50s, you still have this youthful look, you still have good skin elasticity, you still have a glow because, you know, let's not forget we are doing all this because we're talking about inner confidence.
Yeah.
So then you want to maintain this for as long as you're able to. It's important to start early. People with normal skincare assume that they don't need a skincare routine because they don't have issues. We don't maintain a good skincare just because we don't have issues. We maintain a good skincare because we want to exfoliate, remove dead skin so that our skin can continue rejuvenating. Because so long as you're not exfoliating or masking helps to detoxify, to pull out toxins, bad toxins from the skin. Then that means you're leaving your skin susceptible to accumulation of dead skin. And what that does then, it triggers skin issues, skin conditions, which you may not experience now, but you can experience later on in life.
Because the pores are clogged.
Clogged. So then there's no outlet to release these toxins. You see, you remember even when we work out, we sweat.
Yeah.
So then you need your pores to be open for these bad toxins to come out. So then it's important for everybody to maintain a simple, nice skincare routine.
And that reminds me, when you talk about scrubbing and masking, specifically that, at what age should one start scrubbing and doing all those masking stuff? When is it safe for one to start? Because you said, as long as you've been born,
yes,
your skin tomorrow is never the same as your skin yesterday.
Correct.
So it means degeneration starts almost immediately.
Yeah, it does.
And so at what stage or at what age does one then, can one be exposed so that even our kids, our young girls who are also watching can be able to know,
understand.
I mean, this is now time for me to engage in this, because you said it's important to start some of these things early enough so that they can,
prevent.
help us. Yeah.
I would say from teenagehood, because that's when a lot of hormonal imbalances start happening. That's when we become very conscious. That is when our skin is maturing, because you don't want to do it early when the skin is supple, young, and still, generating. So from adulthood, from teenagehood, and the reason why I say teenagehood is because at that point is when most people start experiencing these breakouts. That's around the same time people start experiencing this overproduction of sebum. That's when you start identifying that you're oily, your skin is probably more oily than this person. That's when you start experiencing, okay, why do I feel so dry? So from around the age of teenagehood, so long as you're using safe products, then it's okay to start at that age, because then what you want to do, you want to avoid a lot of scarring, which happens if you don't maintain a good skincare. Because why do we scrub? We scrub so that we remove the dead skin. We remove the dead skin so that we unclog our pores. We unclog our pores so that that oil which is being overproduced has an outlet to come out smoothly instead of forcing itself out, because it's going to come out anyway. But then you don't want it to force itself out through breakouts. You want to be able to have cleansed and toned and exfoliated your skin so that there's an access and an outlet for the oil to come out.
Right. The next misconception is one that we have tackled in our previous conversations, but just to bring it out so that, we emphasize on the same. The fact that, and it's best, still on what we are talking about, scrubbing and masking, especially for those who have issues with their skin, like we talked about acne and those kind of things. There are those who perhaps believe if you have spots or dark spots on your skin, if you scrub every day, then it goes a long way in helping the body and the skin rejuvenate and heal itself as fast as it can.
I get that a lot. The fact that people feel like if you over scrub, then you'll clear the blackheads. This is the same, I would tie this in with when you have breakouts and active acne. It's very tempting to keep breaking them, popping them, because they're literally here. So you feel like if you pop it, it will go down faster and therefore you'll treat the condition faster. But what that does, and it's this, because it's the aggression in popping, the aggression in scrubbing, what that does in retrospect, it overprocesses the skin. When you overprocess the skin, you strip your skin of its natural oils. These natural oils are the first layer of protection to our skin from the external free radicals. So if you're stripping yourself, you're exposing yourself more to these free radicals. What are you doing? You're making your skin more sensitive. What does that do? It leads to more breakouts. So ideally, the recommended exfoliating is once a week.
Okay.
Again, not using aggressive material. Remember, still, we really have to protect our natural oils. So it's more the ingredients that you're going to use to exfoliate rather than the aggressive process. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are the for now, those are the misconceptions that I felt perhaps we needed to get out of the way.
Correct.
So that as we continue with this series and these conversations, then people are clear.
Yeah.
We have facts, right?
Yeah.
Put our facts on the table.
Correct.
So that we are now approaching these conversations from a point of information and not just hearsay and things that are not founded.
That's true, and I would like to hear other misconceptions that people have. And then we can be able to address or demystify, because there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. With skincare, unfortunately, there's no one size fits all, and therefore, depending on different skin types, there are people who believe, okay, maybe I don't need to tone, I don't need to do this. So some of those things we need to hear, and then we can be able to address them as they come. Yeah.
If you have, you're not sure about something and you'd like us to, respond on the same, or give you information over the same, kindly get in touch with us. Send us your feedback, send us those questions and concerns that you're having around your skincare routines, and we see how to help each other.
True.
And you have got products, a whole product range that is, fashioned to really make sure that your skin is at its best.
Yeah, correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
But of course, like we've said before, over and over, it's one thing to have these products, but it's another to really understand why you're doing this. You have to do it in context.
In context.
Yeah. Because people's needs are different.
Very different.
Yeah.
Very
and that's
diverse.
why it's important before you start using any product to at least consult with. Yeah.
Yes.
I think consultation is very important.
Very important. Every time we have a new client, we have a conversation. Do you understand your skin type? Okay, you don't. The easiest way, if I can give a tip for you to understand your skin tone, if you wash your face, and it's important to use a good cleanser, this will come up in other conversations. Assuming you have a good cleanser, you've cleansed your face, give yourself about 30 minutes without applying anything. If within those 30 minutes, your skin is already oily, you're feeling a bit shiny, then guaranteed you have oily skin. If within those 30 minutes, your skin feels very tight, very dry, almost cracky, like you really feel the urge to apply something on it, then you definitely have dry skin. So if within those 30 minutes, then these sides, the sides of your face are feeling a bit dry, but the T-zone, which is the forehead, down your nose and across your chin, is feeling a bit oily and shiny, then you definitely have combination skin. So based on that, it is a very good place for you to start the conversation. Then now, even when you're consulting with an expert or a skincare or whatever, you can be able to tell them, this is my skin type. What would you recommend? Based on my skin type and the issues that I'm facing, what would you recommend?
Great.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm really enjoying this journey. And since we started, we have actually covered quite a lot.
Yes.
And I don't know what stands out for you, even as we finish this conversation for today, for the much that we've been able to cover.
Yeah.
What stands out for you? How have you been enjoying the journey, or what really has inspired you the most?
Just as you started like an idea, me and you were brainstorming, and it's one thing to sit on this couch as a pace setter and talk about your brand and delve into details about it. But when we had Ashley the last time, the testimonial, the lady on acne, I think for me that really stood out, because her testimony is something that has really inspired me to continue doing what I'm doing, because then it rubber stamps the why we do this. Because the why is not so much the commercial or the why is that being able to help somebody, the mental, emotional, for them to be able to come out, even for her to sit on this platform in front of cameras and share, that that shows the journey she has taken to building her own confidence. And I think for me that was the most powerful, and that's what has really, really stood for me. And if I can continue impacting people's lives like that, then I think my mission will be accomplished.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're really proud as well of what you have, continually put into this particular process to see to it that you become an avenue through which other people can find themselves.
True.
Because we lose ourselves because of external factors.
Yeah.
And so finding someone like yourself and a brand that can be able to help you regain the lost, esteem and those kind of things. Yeah. It goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. And I know that there are so many people who are already reaching out.
Yeah.
And
yes.
you're already overwhelmed.
That's a good problem.
But it's a good problem.
Yes.
So let's overwhelm her some more. If you need to make an order for any of the products, and we'll put a list of them in our description link so that you can be able to look at them and see what really would work for you and place a request. I think your distribution network is worldwide.
Yes, it is.
So it's not limited to Kenya. If you need a product and you're staying in the UK or the US or anywhere in the world, I think you have supplied this before, and it shouldn't be a problem.
No, it's not. We have a contract with DHL where we enjoy good rates with them for overseas deliveries.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you feel like you want to partner with us, wherever you are, to distribute our products, please also reach out. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. That's a good place to end.
Yes.
Asante sana, thanks for coming again.
And thank you for having me again.
Tunaendelea kukuinvite.
Kabisa.
Ama sasa wewe ndio utaanza
kuinvite. I'm in co-host.
So that's all we've had for today. Hopefully those misconceptions that we have addressed, that information will help you to make more informed decisions and choices going forward. This has been Pace Setters here on Shared Moments with Justus. Hope to see you again next time. Same time. See you then.